What is up, people? My name's Richie T, and I'm going to run you through Bitcoin futures, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum. Let's get started. So, just quickly on Bitcoin futures. There's been a lot of hype about this being released on the CME. Doesn't affect us. It doesn't affect us one bit. A future is just like hedging your risk. So basically, farmers might have a field of corn or whatever, and they'll hedge their risk so that if something happens or there's a disaster around that crop, that they're covered up into a point. So, the future contracts are like generally 3 months or whatever long, and they're paid out in cash. So it doesn't affect this market whatsoever, and you can clearly see that by down here on my Bitcoin chart. There is absolutely no movement in it whatsoever, and nor should there be, because the future market doesn't have any bearing over Forex and the crypto Forex. Anyway, that's it. I just thought I'd tidy that up. There's a lot of hype about it, a lot of tweets going out, a lot of opinions, tons of opinions, not any actual educated information. Things like that don't affect the Forex market. So anyway, let's move on and get into today's update. Bitcoin. As you can see, from where we were, the 8th of the 12th, we had the doji, and that's when we started getting that bears kick in, and we started reaching those, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat today, lower highs and lower lows, as you can see through here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So what we did is we drew our trend line through there, started from the top, and came down to the bottom. Now, you might ask, how did we know that that was going to happen? Because of this. This is the lower high, and that is the lower low. And if you put my crosshair on the top of that, that point is still lower than that point. So we're still reaching lower highs and lower lows. Pretty simple stuff. Then price pulls back up here, and it trickled along the top here. That's when we drew our trend line in. Got it straight across the top. And as you can see, price comes down, goes back up, hits it, comes down, goes back up. Got a railroad pattern there, primarily if it was at a top, which it really isn't. And comes back down, goes back up, engulfing candle there, as we got 1, 2, 3, 4 bull candles, and a bear engulfing candle. Price comes down. Beautiful railroad pattern off the bottom. Price consolidates, which is always the case. Price consolidates. We have the breakout candle, which also breaks this. I'm tongue-tied today. Sorry, guys. Also breaks the support and turns it back into resistance. As from there, we're obviously reached our first higher high from the previous high. And then prices pulled back down. We've got a doji, and we've gone back onto our second bull move. Now, I'll just get rid of these arrows here. So from this point here to this point, we draw another trend line, and that will act as our long-term trend line moving up. So we'll probably find that price will pull back to this line sooner or later, maybe off this move, maybe off the next move, but it will pull itself back down there, and we're basically going into our next bullish move. I'm of the train of thought that price is probably going to take off. Like, as you can see, these consolidation periods over here. This is what Bitcoin tends to do. It doesn't tend to retrace like this large move here from the 3rd up until the 8th, and then pulled back on the 10th, which was, by the way, a perfect 61.8% retrace. If you can hear a bit of background noise, it's my 18-month-old ripping his toy bin to pieces. Anyway, hang on to this. It's going to have to be quick. So I'm pretty sure that price is just going to take off again here. Although I would like to see another retrace back down, even to potentially like a 38.2 mark, and then shoot back up into the 1900s. That is Bitcoin for the week. Right, next up is Bitcoin Cash. As you can see, we had that huge spike there on the 8th. A lot of activity on the markets on the 8th. Then price sort of consolidated around, come back down. There's really not much happening here. You can see here we've got the trend line here. It's come through. You've got 1, 2, and the third. We've got the doji on it. Breaks through, pulls back, and I believe it will go up to the 15.18 mark, but that's still yet to be confirmed. It's not really in trend yet. So what I do is I'll be sitting back and just holding tight. We monitor this every hour, every day. And if you follow our tweets, then you'll pick up on those trades that we enter. If you don't, then you should. All things Ethereum. Ethereum is like an ex-girlfriend that just keeps coming back to haunt me. It's plain and simple. Ethereum doesn't play ball like all the other currencies. There's a lot of volume in this market. However, as you can see from this point here, on the 8th again, we went on that bullish run. Now, all three of the currencies that I've just mentioned, all are acting in a similar manner on a similar day. Within 24 hours of each other. If you see Bitcoin skyrocketing, you can be pretty sure that Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash aren't too far behind. All right, so what? And that's kind of strange, because I would be on the train of thought that if Bitcoin was flying, then Ethereum should be dropping, because people should be selling out of this and buying into it. But then I remember that most of the money in cryptocurrencies are from crypto geeks and not financial traders like ourselves. Once that does happen, that's what will happen. So this is as much of a learning curve for Ed and I as it is obviously for you. The benefit that we have is we have technical and fundamental analysis on our side from years and years of experience, and we can very much give a good analysis on where we think price will go. Ethereum is not that beast though. So it's all well said and done, but it's just not behaving like a regular currency at this point in time. Now, I'm not sure if that's to do with the marketing plan or the news that's been released on it. I know Vitalik is having a lot of conferences. He's in a different city around the world every second day or every third day. He's got quite the hectic schedule. But all I see being released on Ethereum is what other developers are doing with the open source platform. So I'm thinking that Ethereum, there needs something to be coming from the founders. You know what I mean? There needs to be news and positive news coming from them on a weekly basis if this is to increase and go up to those levels that I've been predicting of about $4,500. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't, apart from that the general public are not getting the news or the confidence coming out of it as they should be. But nevertheless, we do have a higher low and we do have a higher high. So that does mean that we are on our up and up, and we have drawn our trend line across. Now, whether this retraces back down into this management zone here, or it continues on, is another story. As I said, this is not an easy one for Ed and I to be trading at the moment, just purely because it just doesn't act in a fashion that a usual currency is. So it's either going to retrace when it hits up into this management point, or it's going to pull back to this one and then take off, or we could just see it skyrocket. I'm of the train of thought that it's going to make it up to here around between the the 484 mark and the 493 mark. Hover around in there for some more, and then hopefully push on to new highs. As I said, I've got a lot of faith in this currency. I just don't think that the information that's getting out to the general public is the right information on the platform. Yeah. Anyway, that all being said, Edward and I are discussing doing live sessions 3 days a week. So as we develop that idea more, we'll let you know for sure. Probably looking at maybe a Saturday, a Sunday, and a Friday at this stage. We'll see how it goes though. Maybe we'll just start it off a couple of times a week and see what sort of traction we get with that and how everyone enjoys it. Feedback is essential, of course. But other than that, I will see you all on Wednesday. Take care, happy trading, and just make it rain, baby.
Hey guys, thanks for watching today's episode. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button below and also the notifications button so you don't miss out when the next episode comes out. Also follow us on the Facebook, get amongst the discussion over there, and also follow us on the Twitter. That's where Richie posts all of his badass trades you don't want to miss out. See you soon.